Have you ever been judged for something you couldn't control? Maybe the color of your skin, your gender, or your background? Imagine pouring your heart and soul into a job application, only to have it thrown aside because of someone's prejudice. Well, that's exactly what happened to Olivia Carter. But her story isn't just about rejection. It's about turning the tables on someone who thought they could control her future. This is a story of retribution, a battle for justice, and a twist no one saw coming. Olivia had spent years climbing the ladder in the corporate world, overcoming obstacles many would never understand. She was intelligent, driven, and passionate about her work. But every job she applied for seemed to slip through her fingers. That is, until she found the position at Titan Enterprises, the dream company everyone aspired to work for. Olivia's face lit up when she clicked on the job posting. She smiled as she began to type her application, including details about her impressive resume, work experience, and a personal story about her ambition to bring innovation to a traditionally male-dominated field. It seemed like a perfect match. The role was everything she'd been working towards, an executive position that could catapult her career into the spotlight. She felt confident this time. But what she didn't know was that the CEO of Titan Enterprises, Richard Hayes, was a man with a deep, ugly bias. Richard Hayes had a reputation. A ruthless CEO known for his sharp business acumen, he built his empire on the backs of others. But beneath that polished exterior lay something far darker. He was known to make snap judgments about his applicants. And it was no secret that he had a pattern, one that wasn't based on merit, but on his personal prejudices. When Richard scanned Olivia's application, he quickly tossed it aside with a dismissive gesture. His lips curled into a smirk. Olivia's application went straight into the rejection pile. Why? Because she was a woman, and worse yet, she was a woman of color. Richard Hayes didn't believe someone like her could possibly fit into his company. What he didn't realize, however, was that Olivia wasn't the type to let such a rejection go unnoticed. At home, Olivia stared at the rejection email on her phone. She looked hurt, but there was a spark in her eyes, determination. She wasn't going to take this lying down. She knew that people like Richard Hayes didn't just stop at rejecting talent. They built their empires on keeping others down. So, Olivia decided to fight back in a way no one expected. In a small coffee shop, Olivia typed away at her laptop, her face focused and intense. She wasn't just writing another job application. She was crafting an anonymous social media campaign, a post that would go viral. She shared her experience of being rejected, but she didn't stop there. She uncovered a deeper truth about Richard Hayes and his hiring practices. The post gained traction fast. People began commenting, sharing, and discussing. Richard was shown nervously glancing at his phone, his face turning pale as he saw the growing outrage. Olivia didn't know that her simple post would escalate into something far bigger. The truth was out, and Richard Hayes, once untouchable, was now on the defensive. Public outcry began to mount, with people calling for a boycott of Titan Enterprises. It was clear that his reputation and his company's future was at risk. Richard paced back and forth in his office, tension rising. His assistant walked in. "Mr. Hayes, we need to address this. The media is asking for a statement. They're calling for an investigation into your hiring practices." Richard stood still, his face hardening. He quickly picked up his phone, dialing a number. Richard wasn't about to let it end like this. Desperate to maintain his power, he made an unexpected move. He reached out to Olivia. Olivia picked up her phone, her expression unreadable as Richard's voice came through. "Olivia, this is Richard Hayes. I'm sure you've seen the fallout from your post. I want to make things right. Come to my office tomorrow, and I'll make you a generous offer to join my team." Richard thought he could smooth things over with money. He thought Olivia was just like every other person he had manipulated. But Olivia was about to give him a taste of his own medicine. The next day, Olivia entered the Titan Enterprises building, confident and poised. She walked up to Richard's office, the camera focusing on her determined face. She wasn't there for an apology. She wasn't there to accept his offer. No, she was there to expose the final truth. She sat across from Richard, the tension thick in the air. Olivia slid a file across the table toward him. Inside were not just details of his prejudice but also evidence of illegal practices within Titan Enterprises: discriminatory hiring, unethical business deals, and exploitation of employees. Olivia had done her homework. She was ready to bring him down, not just for his bias, but for everything he had done to build his empire on the backs of others. Richard, visibly sweating, threatened, "You can't do this. I'll destroy you." Olivia smiled, "No. You'll destroy yourself. The world already knows who you are." Just like that, the man who thought he was untouchable crumbled. The story hit the news, the public outrage continued to swell, and Richard Hayes was forced to step down as CEO. His empire collapsed, and Olivia? She didn't just win. She changed the system. She became a symbol of resilience, of standing up against the odds. Olivia walked out of the building, her head held high as news cameras flashed. A sense of justice, of retribution, filled the air. Olivia's story is one of strength, but also of the power of truth. Sometimes, the world isn't ready for someone like you, but that doesn't mean you stop fighting. Sometimes, the biggest victory isn't the job you get, but the truth you reveal. The next time someone tells you no, maybe that's just the beginning of your journey.